accept the fact that the city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions. What he means is Old Testament, Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling. 4 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes. Dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. That's hysteria.
Setting the standard and raising the bar. The only way a real award-winning media puppet knows how to do. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is SideShow Infotainment. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do have something to announce, and that is the Best of Richmond event. It was this past Thursday, and of course, yours truly was there. You know, we've done this the last 3 years, making the top three. We were 3 in 2023. We were number 2 in 2024. And we're alive and thriving at number 1 in 2025. And yes, that is for the best local morning radio show. Brought to you by our friends over at the Richmond Times-Dispatch, the newspaper of record here locally. But Anyways, tip of the cap to Mary Murr, always first out of the gate. Aunt Sarah in the house as well. And also, yes, a tip of the cap to Sir Philosopher. Always an amazing show with mixtapes and then art before mixtapes, part of your super Saturday mornings here on WDCE. But in terms of the show, yes, we were able to snag first place. I was there at the Altria Ballroom, and I was there dancing, getting my groove on the dance floor, backing that thing up. Isn't that what the kiddies say? They say back that thing up. So if I was on the dance floor, was I backing that thing up? What? What do you mean? That's not what you mean. That's what you say, right? You back that thing. Oh, wait, what? We can't say that. Oh, so that's the name of the actual song. Oh, okay. Well, so back that thing up is actually a censored version of the name of the song itself. Right. So I guess I wasn't backing that thing up. I just was hearing the words, and I was just like, oh yeah. So there's another one. Make me lose my mind up in here. Yeah, that was another one. Just dancing around and no. We did not. I did not do the electric slide. No, I was not. No, nope. However, it is electric, but I was not involved in that. No, they didn't do the chicken dance either. No, there was none of that. But there was an award. And so if you're watching on the Sam cams over here, I have the Sam cams live up and running. I have Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, and I believe that we do have it up and running. So we have the Sam cams live up and running at Sam Newsman all over social media. Tip of the cap to Exertus as well, that is allowing us to stream these channels, mirrored actually on the channels over on his channels, so we appreciate that. Let's see here. Do we have it? Yep. Okay. Right. A couple other things. Devoid of Logic, Cato's Collection, Mythoclast, Old World, Minmac. They're all here down in the chat. Calyx, I see as well. Collect to Disconnect. Mythoclast says, it's the dawn of a new Saturday morning. Yes, that's right. Where an actual real award-winning media puppet is doing what he does best, setting the standard and, of course, raising the bar. So we do have, like I said, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X. Also the Sam Newsman, the Sam Cam up here on Instagram Live as well. See a couple of people here joining in. Deadman, Hypercube, Sir Philosopher, the Action Figure Alliance. I love action figures, right? Action figures. Is there a difference between a toy and an action figure? I mean, that's a well, maybe that's something that the professor can. One of the great things about this show. Oh, Deadman says congratulations, Sam. Thank you so much. Cato says congratulations again, Sam. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Like I said, this is awesome. So But here's the thing. So what? Yeah, I mean that's what. Well, yes, that's what I was about to get into. The fact that we do have Dave joining us as always. So Dave, are you there? Dave, are you there? And
I
are you
am.
there? Dave? Aha, there you are. So Dave, with another mask on, if you're
Yes.
joining us,
Number one.
Number one. That's right. So, well, Dave, listen, I wanted to sit there, just bring you in. I won't take up too much of your time this morning, but I did want to say that thanks to you, part of this award that we have won over here for best morning radio show, that's a piece of yours too, as well, sir. So I just want you to know that it's because of your excellence in updating us most of the time on a weekly basis when you're free to do so. You educate all of us on the importance of cartoons and action figures and toys and wrestling. So a whole bunch of things. But Dave, the first question out of the gate is there a difference between an action figure and a toy?
Yes, there is.
All right, so give us the rundown quickly, if you will. What's the difference between an action figure and a
Basically,
toy?
an action figure can be a toy. Well, an action figure can be a toy, but a toy is not always an action figure.
Okay, so an action figure is always a toy, though.
Yes.
Okay, now what about if it says
if you're playing with,
if it says 14 and up, is it still a toy, or is
well,
it 21 and up? Is that still a toy? Oh, there is such thing as adult toys. No, not that kind of adult toys. So,
well, let's not get into that, Sam. That's this ain't Cinemax, Sam. We can't talk about that here.
That's right. That's right. We can talk about action figures, toys, but also
But
cartoons. You remember? So the interesting thing about cartoons, and you can give us a little history lesson here. There's cartoons that premiered during the week, and then there was cartoons that premiered on Saturday mornings. Sometimes Saturday morning cartoons would end up being then shown during the week, and vice versa. But there was sometimes this thing called syndication, started in the 80s. Professor, if you don't mind for just a moment, can you give us a little rundown?
Yeah, they're actually.
There you go.
Yeah, there were Saturday morning cartoons and there were weekday cartoons. Now, weekday cartoons typically go about 65 episodes. The idea is a lot of them were syndicated, so it's like, okay, this could air Monday through Friday. This could air one day a week. It just depended on the station. And Saturday morning cartoons were typically network shows, so those often had a bigger budget.
Okay, so there was difference between syndication shows and network shows. Explain that a little bit.
Well, yeah, there was a difference. There's also both budgets, but also standards and practices.
What is it?
Now,
what does that mean?
Like you take a look at Transformers. Well, standards and practices, basically, that's a list of things you can, and more importantly, cannot do. Syndication shows the S&P would be a lot looser.
Gotcha.
Because who knows when this thing's airing? It may be Saturday morning. Yeah, it could be whenever.
Okay, so we have two different types of cartoons, network and syndication. When you think about cartoons and ones that really stand out to you, do you have one or two that really kind of set the standard and raised the bar, if you will, in terms of, I guess, where we are today with cartoons and animation and things like that? Are you there, Dave?
Shows that really stand out?
Yes,
yeah. I'm here.
Yep,
I'm always here, Sam.
Yeah, okay. So there's a slight delay here on my end. So,
but you mean shows that really stand out?
Right. During the 80s, what was the ones that really stand out to you?
Yeah. Well, one thing about 80s shows, especially the syndication market, they had actually, the FCC had cut back on a lot of regulations. Thanks in part to the Hot Wheel. You don't remember the Hot Wheels show, do you?
The Hot Wheels show. What was the Hot Wheels show all about? Just cars. Right?
Yeah, well, well, this was back in the 60s. Yeah, the little toy cars. Well, they actually had a TV show. And parent groups freaked out. It's like, this is a 30-minute commercial. How dare you? Somebody's got to do something. Won't they think of the children? So they stepped in. It's like, okay, so you can advertise a show. You cannot make a show about what's basically an advertisement. And they kept that rule up to about 1982. Got rid of it. And then 83, He-Man showed up.
So you would say that He-Man is probably one of the shows that really kind of set things in motion for 80s cartoons. And
that was kind of the first. Yeah, that really sort of kicked everything off. In fact, I think they called it like the Golden Triangle.
Okay. The Golden Triangle.
Basically, 3 points. You got, toy, cartoon, and usually a comic or some other tie-in. But at least 3 things.
Okay. Well, so we have action figures and toys.
Yeah, so everything's sort of built up to that. Yeah.
Then we have cartoons, different types of cartoons. And Dave, one of the other things, of course, you're wearing another luchador mask because you have masks for days. But one of the things that we also talk about is wrestling. And, it's very interesting. It's not like it was during the old Monday Night Wars, but there are 2 wrestling promotions. Could you go over each of them quickly?
Oh, you mean the current wrestling landscape war?
Yes, correct. Yeah, because back in the day there was the WCW, WWF,
okay.
But now I believe.
Yeah, because I know back in the day we had a lot of things. But yeah, right now, well, obviously you got the WWE. You got Monday Night Raw on Netflix. You've got Fridays on USA, and then you got NXT on the CW. Although good luck tracking that channel down. That seems to have vanished.
Right.
Yeah. But you got AEW on Wednesday. You've got TNA on Thursday. And that's major shows. You've also got the NWA on Roku. Still desperately trying to be relevant.
Right. And so we have all of these different wrestling promotions and things, but WWE is still the big dog, correct? I mean, that's still the one that everyone still try to.
Yeah. I mean, they're still, they really do sort of set the standard, at least in terms of, pay-per-views, marketing, that type of thing.
Right. And we just recently came off of this WrestlePalooza, and John Cena getting squished by Brock Lesnar. I think we predicted that it would be a Cena win. Could you just comment?
Because apparently
the last thing that we would do is just comment on that match.
Why?
Why?
I mean, does Brock Lesnar? How many more accolades does this man need? It's like, how many more accolades does Brock Lesnar need?
And not, I guess, a few more squish matches.
I mean, he shows.
Right.
I mean, they make him they made him like world champ, and he only shows up like 4 times a year.
Right. Yeah.
Because apparently he just doesn't feel like it. It's like you've got guy. I mean, you got AJ. AJ Styles is like right there.
Yeah, but that would be too easy. It would be too easy.
I mean, you got wrestlers that will. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, you got Vince McMahon going on like, yeah, these young punks, they won't grab the brass ring. Vince, you've got wrestlers that will crawl naked over broken glass and have done so, but you're putting all the titles and the accolades on a guy who shows up when he feels like it. That ain't much of a motivation.
Right. No, it's not. But hey, you know what is a motivation, Dave, is you. Because you've shown up every week for the last couple of years throughout the course of this journey as we went from number 3 to number 2 to number 1. And Dave, I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of the show, showing up every week, educating us all. And once again, sir, a piece of this plaque does belong to you, because if it wasn't for your consistency, showing up, and once again, like I said, teaching us about Saturday morning cartoons, regular weekday cartoons, action figures and toys and wrestling, this show wouldn't be what it is. So, Professor, I just want to thank you one more time, and just always appreciate you being here on the show, sir.
Well, I don't know what to say, Sam.
Well, I'll make you speechless. So, but we'll chat next week, okay?
Okay, and well, since next week is Halloween, well, next week is October, spooky month.
We'll start doing.
You know, I got man, I've got horror lists. I got lists. Oh
Send
yeah,
it over.
Sam, I've been ready since February.
Yeah, so send all of that over. We'll have
of 1995.
We'll have Sir Philosopher play some of those prior to the show. Mix those in with some of his sets and mixtapes. Once again, that's mixtapes from 9 to 11 before the show. A lot of the jams that you send over to me are now played on that show. But Dave, once again, you have a great weekend, sir, and we'll chat with you next week. All right, there's Dave. So, you know, David, like I said, he reached out years ago and said, hey, listen, this is when we had the 3-hour show. A 3-hour show. No, yeah, it was 3 hours. And Dave would come in, one of the very first segments or second segments or one of them, but we would play cartoon themes. And then Dave would come on and talk about the different shows or cartoons, sometimes sitcoms. It was all kinds of stuff. But Dave would show up and he'd educate us all, and he's been very consistent over the last few years. And you know, if you're watching us, we are broadcasting live: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X over here, and also on Instagram Live. So, by the way, Skydro, shout out to Skydro, Go Figure Go. You know that you can save 15% when you use the code Skydro at extremesets.com? Yeah. No, I mean, that's not a plug. That's just me just telling you. Yeah. If you go to extremesets.com, use the code Skydro, you'll be able to save 15%. Now, your action figure toy photography may not look as good as Skydro Walker on Instagram, but you can at least save 15% while trying by using what? The code Skydro. That's SKYDRO at extremesets.com. Just making a point here. Now, I do have another guest that I'd like to bring in. So, Jordan, I do show that my buddy TNT Nate is backstage. So, Nate, listen, hey, how is it going, sir?
Hello, sir. It's going. Congrats, Sam.
Oh, dude, thank you so much. One of those interesting things. Now, we ended up having a wonderful time. A couple of years back, you were doing the Transmission X podcast, and you were coming on some semi-weekly basis. Things were awesome, and things probably have picked up, but I'm sure that you're working on some things. But what people don't know, and they may not know, they're going to find out right now. We had the Sam the Votathon, where we were doing that every single night. Our very last night was you and me. And what were we doing? We were talking about what?
Versus. Comic book versus. Comic book superhero.
Comic book versus. What's comic book versus? What are you talking about? Hold on.
Like who would beat who?
Like Superman versus Batman?
Obviously it's Supes. Right. That's it. That's and those questions were just fun to talk about on the last night. And the coolest thing is that we had a lot of activity in the chat.
We did. People were sitting there saying, and they were picking out names, picking out superheroes and villains, and it was across all spectrums. It was not just, it was Marvel, it was DC, it was independent comics, it was TV shows, it was movies, it was all kinds of stuff. But you are quite a bit of a comic book savant yourself, and so that was probably one of the reasons why it went so well. You're familiar with all this comic book stuff. Where did you get this comic book knowledge from?
When I was a little kid, I found old comics in my attic, and they were all from the Golden Age, best comics ever written, and I still have them to this day. And so I would just sit up there and read comics when I would get bored, and it just started a lifelong love of comics. So Transmission X is coming back. Took a hiatus for about a year. There's a book in the process. There's a comic in the process.
Whoa, Mr. Creativity over there. Good grief.
Well, we've had to make some things because people were asking for some things. And when it's just me, I had to take time off to do those things. But yeah, so the verses talk was awesome. And anyway, I didn't come on here to talk about me, Sam. I came on here to tell you congratulations. Listen, today is your day. So you can sit there and act interested in everyone else, but everyone should be looking at you and saying, thanks, Sam, for being the only trustworthy media puppet in all of entertainment.
Oh, that warms my heart. That warms my heart. That touches me right here in the felt.
In the felt.
Yeah, the felt. I got the little felt fuzzies there, if you will. Like, look at that. So look, there's got little goosebumps, fuzzy goosebumps.
Good job, Sam. You did great. Listen, and the ride was perfect to go from 3 to 2 to 1. Classic.
Right. Well, listen, it's been a journey, and I will say, Cato says Sam felt that one. No, so
dude, the puns are the best.
Breaking news: alien mothership over Chicago. It's just another drone. But you know what? Thank you so much, Nate. That means so much to me. Like I said, you've been an integral part along the way, and I just appreciate you showing up whenever you can.
Dude,
and we do plan on doing another versus, maybe 1 or 2 times here before the end of the year. We'll figure it all out. But okay, before we go, we do have one request: Unicron versus Galactus.
Galactus.
Wait, how so? What do you mean?
Galactus all day, he eats planet, Sam. And I don't know about this modern day movie that made Sue be able to push him back. It was the most ridiculous thing I had ever seen in my life. Let me tell you, the original powers between both. He eats the energy of planets. Like he has taken, he's almost beyonder level. Galactus is just, sorry, new age kids, doesn't work. Galactus for the win all day, every day in that competition. We should just have this conversation. We should just keep doing the verses, Sam, because I don't have time today, and we both don't, because I want you to end your show properly, and I want to hear Citizen Germ's take for the most part. But we need to continue this because let's get our battle gear on, and let me do a little debate action in the versus field, and we can debate live with the chat. And I'll go over feats, we'll go over difficulty levels, whatever you want to do, Sam. I'm game.
Well, what we're going to do is set the standard and raise the bar, just like you have every single time you've shown up on this show. And Nate, I just want to thank you so much for your kind words, and we'll be chatting with you soon, sir.
Cheers, Sam.
Cheers to TNT Nate, which is really awesome that he would have a chance to show up and be a part of the program. Means a lot to have TNT Nate there joining us for the day. But yeah, so that is the news of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that we did win the award for Best Local Morning Radio Show. brought to you by our friends at the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Now, I'm not sure when the last time, if ever, an independent radio show that is not backed by corporate media has won a competition or an award like this. So, but one of the things that it does highlight, it highlights the power of independent radio. Independent radio being that WDCE, so you know that that's a real radio microphone, right? Yeah, like right over here, right over my shoulder, like right over there. I say over my shoulder. It's kind of, well, it is in my face too. But that's a real radio microphone that picks up this beautiful award-winning puppet voice. And if you're just listening to us on WDCE, you might be thinking, well, I also want to see that beautiful puppet face. And you can do that at Sam Newsman all over social media, at Sam Newsman all over social media. But yes, highlighting independent radio, WDCE being the oldest independent radio station here in the Central Virginia area. Like I said, not any corporate backing here, ladies and gentlemen. They're not throwing me any of the money and allowing or trying to force me to censor myself. I try to keep things as PG as possible. PG-13-ish, right? We work in ish around here. So here we are, like I said, we have went from third to second to first, which has been an amazing journey. And once again, like I said, I'm not sure if this has ever been done before, right? Well, it is historic. I mean, there's no question about it. We did make history. We made history. We hacked the planet in the process. How do we hack the planet? Well, because a real media puppet beat all the real shows. I'm not saying that this isn't a real show. This is a real show. In fact, it's more real than the rest of them. I mean, because you have a real award-winning media puppet giving you his take on, things of the day, news and information. But I'm not going to get into news. I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not going to get into any kerfuffles, even though I know that you guys would probably want me to just start ranting, because there is probably something in the news that is out there. But I'm not going to feed into that. No feeding into the negativity around here. At least for the moment, because it's a positive day. It's a positive day because we, and that's you, everyone who voted every single day, we've won the award for Best Local Morning Radio Show. It just is nice to say that, it just kind of rolls off the tongue, if you will. The Best Local Morning Radio Show. Last year that John Reed ended up having to spend $1,000 to just beat me. Yeah, he spent over $1,000. Well, yeah, he's spending a hell of a lot more now running for lieutenant governor. Right. Yeah, our old buddy John, old Uncle John. Everybody has an old Uncle John, old gay uncle. So there's that. So, it looks like, hold on, wait a minute. It looks like that there may be, I guess. Okay, hold on. So it looks like that the phone line might be working and operating. This is well, let's see let's see how this works out, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right, caller, you're here live with the most trusted puppet in media. Who am I speaking with?
John May.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. I am hoping that the political nonsense I hear from you is not going to be coming back, because you do it a lot, and I really don't want to hear it. Okay? I'm glad you're celebrating that award. I think that's terrific and well-deserved. But you personally make it a very unpleasant experience for those of the DCE. So I hope you're not going to do that. Thank you.
Right, okay. Oh, the trolls are out en masse, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing more than a troll calling in. And, that's what's great about this, is the haterade. The haterade from people sometimes. And that's what makes this all. He's like, oh my gosh, the political, unpleasant. Oh, okay. But here we are, setting the standard, raising the bar. And who the heck was what the heck? Oh no, it's great. It's great. Listen, nothing better than sipping on the hater tears and the people that sit there and say, oh well, what's Who was that? Someone says he's just jealous. It's becoming out of hand. The rage bait in these, it's just rage bait. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was. Oh man. Anyways, the hater tears are delicious. And so if anybody does have any more hater tears, always just bring them my way. At Sam Newsman all over social media. At Sam Newsman all over social medias. Don't bet baited, folks. Oh man, that's fantastic. I mean, that's exciting, right? Because you're doing something right when the trolls come out. The wannabe trolls. That's it. So it is 11:40 here on the 27th day of September, the year 2025. Once again, celebrating this amazing award, being the best local morning radio show here in Central Virginia by the Richmond Times-Dispatch. So somebody says, I get the feeling that guy still wears a diaper. Well, I'm sure that there was a tissue box next to him as well. So it's one of those things. There's tissues, there's hater tears. And I guess the question is that what's the best way to sip on some hater tears? Now, some people might do it in a shot glass. Nothing like taking a shot of hater tears. Well, you might want it in a wine glass. You might just want to mix it up with something else. A little whiskey and some hater tears. But so a frozen beer stein. Okay, that's it. So peanut butter and jealous. The chat is going. Guys, just so you know, there is a live chat. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X is where you're going to find us. At Sam Newsman, mirroring on Exertus' channels as well. And here we are. So Kalik says he has his hater tears in a coffee mug. So, oh man. Is that guy a furry? He might be. Furries are a thing these days. And so, he possibly could be one of those furries. Well, listen, I'm not going to sit there and cast stones of judgment on it. But, yeah, it's hater tears, ladies and gentlemen, hater tears. No, but it's really good because here's the thing, and here's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. We've been doing this show for the last 7 years. 7 years here on WDCE. Where did we start? We started on a Thursday afternoon, drive time, actually against my buddy Jeff Katz. Yeah. So yeah, well I know old Uncle Jeff as well. So, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting as we just continue to move along. But yeah, so I'm not what? No. Can't do that again. No, it's not going to happen. Not happening. Oh, well, no, because you just don't know. Probably call back and say, I'm not a furry and I'm not not going to let that happen. There's a reason why it's difficult, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have call screeners here. So if the trolls do call, they just end up showing up on air, which is terrible. But I'm glad they did get the phone fixed because the phone line was something that was really great at the very early stages of this show. People would call in, request cartoon themes, video game themes, and all of that. But no, yeah. Well, that's part of the gig, right? An award-winning show, allowing people to call in. But no, we don't. Well, listen, we did the one. But like I said, not going to pick up the phone again. Could be another troll. This is where you have to have call screeners. But I did kind of like that, though. I mean, that was exactly par for the course. Oh, I don't like when you go all political, Sam. You make things miserable. Why? Because I'm telling the truth? Because I have no real agenda? Because I'm a real award-winning media puppet? In fact, it's trademarked, right? It's trademarked the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell. So while you might end up hearing a political commentary and take that you may not agree with necessarily, the thing is that I'm apolitical. I have no, listen, this is right. This is neither red nor blue. What this is a healthy shade of pink. That's right. Award-winning pink, if you will. Now let's look at what color the felt is. So, right. So, but here we are, like I said, 11:45 here on the 27th day in the year in September, the year 2025, broadcasting live from the Overcast campus here at the University of Richmond. But I want to thank, of course, the professor coming in, also TNT Nate, the random troll call, which I'm still thinking that was a setup. Who was that? It wasn't even real. It was a setup. Do you know who it was? I'm talking to the producer, ladies and gentlemen. They're on the other side of the glass. You don't get to talk. They don't ever get to say anything. No, because that just ruins everything. Yeah. Right. I mean, the last thing you want to hear is a producer just interject. That's why I hear him in my ear, but you guys don't hear him. What was that? That was one of your friends? One of your friends trolling? I wouldn't put it past you. Wondering who it was. Now I'm questioning the whole thing. Right? Yeah. Whatever. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I said we'll wrap it up here. Once again, I want to thank everyone. We have set the standard and raised the bar. We're the the best local morning radio show that we have won by the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Here at this little tiny signal, this tiny little signal here, broadcasting out of the University of Richmond. It's about an 8-mile signal. And we started 7 years ago doing drive time. And then one time we started playing some cartoon themes. Lord Blanket took over. Not Lord Blanket. No such thing as a Lord Blanket. Took over the board. And then it was all pretty much a roller coaster from there. We moved from Thursdays to Saturday mornings. And then from Saturday mornings, we've done things on YouTube and all kinds of other stuff. So, but it's been wonderful, wonderful journey with a lot of support. And of course, I do have Jordan here real quick. Jordan, pop in for just a second here. Jordan's doing all of the video work now,
hey guys.
As we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X. So was that one of your friends, Jordan? Who was the troll? Who was the troll?
Honestly, man, I couldn't tell if that was like a complimentary call or a troll or supposed to be an insult. Like you said, I don't know if that was real. I don't know what was going on there. So I got no answers for that one, man. Yeah.
Right. Well, it was something. But either way, I'm still sipping the hater tears. Hey, so Jordan, real quick, so you have your own podcast, you do a lot of the work behind the scenes, and I just want to thank you because we did the Sam the Vote-a-thon where we were doing this every single night.
And congratulations, Sam.
Yeah,
First of all, that's what I want to say is congratulations, because that was so great to hear that you won it. Like I said, I was not surprised at all, but deeply happy for you. Most well deserved. So again, congratulations, my friend.
Awesome. Well, hey, listen, like I said, you've been a big help along the way, and just doing the video stuff here. You're now doing it, but you also have your own podcast too. So tell people real quickly where they can find you all over social media and online and your podcast and all that.
Thanks, Sam. I do run the Divulgence podcast. You can check that out right now on YouTube, as well as Spotify and wherever else you get your podcasts. I've been putting out a few episodes every week. I just had a really great episode with Donut, if people are familiar with him. And tomorrow we're going live at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing a dissection of Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, which is one of my all-time favorite movies to dissect. So we have Sean McCann of the Wake the Dead podcast coming on, and Donut will be back. So that's going to be a really awesome episode. So I really hope you guys check that out. But yeah, other than that, you can check me out on Twitter as well. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for letting me say my piece, Sam. And congratulations, man. Enjoy that victory. Enjoy that victory.
Okay, well, listen, I will. Definitely will. But thanks so much, Jordan, for all of your help. And you have a great rest of the weekend, sir.
You too, Sam. You take care.
All right. That is Jordan from the Divulgent podcast, ladies and gentlemen, doing the video work here in the back of the show. So on the back end here for the video part. Like I said, we are streaming on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and X at Sam Newsman, and mirrored on Exertus's channel as well. You can always find me online all over social media at Sam Newsman. And one of the things I did want to say is you want to stick around for Citizen Germ's Mr. Rogers segment at the end of the show. I'm sure that Germ will have a few things to say about this. Well, because, what are you? You're producing the #1 afternoon radio show. You're also producing the #1 morning show. Well, no, I know. We know you don't say anything, but you do have the little tiny segment that you do say that's radio only. The only way you can hear that is on WDCE.org and WDCE.net. That's the only way you can hear that, because we're going to close it out here, as we always do. Thanks, everyone, of course, for watching and joining into the show. And we'll leave you, as always, with the little jingle. Oh, through political correctness, we can't see life as it may be. That world hidden from you and me. I just laugh and start to sing. Ha 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 ha. It's SideShow Infotainment, politicians and news anchors, and talking points that make my eardrums bleed. Oh, that Game of Thrones is what they play. A house of cards just day by day. Voters, well, they lose in every way. It's just like I always say. Oh, it's SideShow Infotainment, politicians and news anchors, and talking points that make my eardrums bleed. The most trusted puppet in media, ha 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 ha, is me. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman.